E.
Hey guys, FreightTrain right here. Souza ended up taking the rest of the night off because we have another caster just as good. Arrcok, what's going on, my man?
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, that's the man right there from the West Coast himself, Arrcok. He's going to be helping us out for the semis and the finals right now. So we wanted to bring you this stream a little bit differently than normal. Obviously, we're having some team issues with the finishing up the games, so we don't want to sit here and leave you guys with absolutely nothing. So me and Arrcok are just going to discuss SWC and some possible Season 3 changes. First off, obviously, I got to ask Arrcok, what do you think favorites are right now?
Oh, well, that's actually hard to say. My favorite, personally, is China. I want China to beat everybody.
You want China to beat everybody, man?
Yeah, dude. Have you seen them play? They're savage, dude.
No, I haven't watched the China game. I did see the link in the options. I haven't actually watched the full one of their games yet. I heard they just camp solo though. I heard that's what they do a lot. Just kind of hang out there.
Well, they're such an aggressive starting team. One of the games they actually started off invaded solo blue buff. Like he blinked in, hogged the the blue buff, and then took off. Like they do stuff like that. It's crazy, and all they do is fight. It's just nonstop fighting. It's really entertaining to watch, actually.
I mean, I'd imagine I'm gonna have to watch one of their games here when I can. We're gonna see what ends up happening. I just hope to get a good time. I'm gonna be going to SWC. Arrcok, you're gonna be there as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so if anybody is a fan of our wonderful casting, of our sexy voices here, you could be like, hey, I know Freight Train. He's a caster for Detonate. Arrcok, he's a caster for Detonate. Arrcok was also on So You Think You Can Cast as well, so the man knows what he's doing over here. But speaking of the rest of SW, yeah, sometimes. So do I, man. I get words stumbled around all day. Speaking of SWC and the rest of it, obviously you gotta be thinking Cloud9 realistically, though. I mean, just they've got the experience and the veteranship. Obviously.
I mean, Cloud9 as a team is just light years ahead of everybody else, to be honest. Like, if I were to put together a perfect team, it would be everybody on Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, that is the dream team. Everyone's talking about Season 3 changes, which are roster apocalypse has happened. Obviously, all of Eager's left.
Yeah.
Everyone is going over there. COG is probably going to dismantle most likely. And a lot of people forget that, these roster spots belong to the sponsor. So Eager actually belongs to Zapman. That spot belongs to Zapman. So any team he puts together is guaranteed to be in SPL. Whereas, Laz's, if he jumps on... If a non-sponsored team, he's going to obviously end up having to go through Challengers Cup along with a lot of other pro players. So we could have a really interesting Challengers Cup match, or season going in, because we could see some players.
I did not know. I did not know that Zapman owned Eager.
He's the sponsor name. Obviously, David Fry has COG. I forget Enemy and I forget some of the other owners, but those roster spots are locked in by the sponsors themselves, not the players. So it's interesting, with roster apocalypse, who and where the changes are going to be coming from, and who's going to be in Challenger Cup scene, because Challenger Cups is probably going to be pretty entertaining to start Season 3, at least for the fall split, because that's where all the bang is going to get. Everyone wants to get into the SPL.
Agreed, and I think it is. I think it's going to be a solid season. I think it'll be a really solid season.
DM tweeted out a day or so ago. I know you followed DM pretty heavily. Something about, I guess he played some Season 3 stuff earlier, and he was really liking it.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. He got to test a lot of the stuff, and he obviously couldn't give any details. Yeah. But he said he's really hyped for it, and he said he had a lot of fun, and the changes to the game were significant. So I'm expecting, to be honest, I'm expecting a whole new, basically a fresh start. That's exactly what I'm expecting.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, it's going to be, 100% fresh. It's going to see who the new faces are. And honestly, it was funny because everyone was like, Cyclone's the greatest solo lane in the world. And Cyclone, sure. I don't know whether it got to his head or whatnot, but, later in the season, it just seemed like he wasn't that same Cyclone. Whether teams figured it out or whether he fell off is did teams figure him out, or did they catch up to him, or did Cyclone that's kind of the big thing, because obviously Envy really fell hard from first place all year to not even making it to Worlds. Obviously,
I don't know if I would say that he was figured out. More or less, he was ahead of the game and people caught up.
Okay, yeah, people caught up.
So yeah, I would say that's more the thing. The kid's really smart, and I think the other teams finally just basically caught up to his level of gameplay. So, I mean, albeit he's still a great player, and if you leave him alone in solo, you know what's going to happen. But, like, it's more along the lines, I think, of people started realizing, okay, well, this is what he's doing, and this is why. And, they started, doing it themselves, basically.
Yeah, I mean, well, we were all a little bit surprised, obviously, with Envy not necessarily making. I think a lot of people had.
I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, I think everyone was a little bit surprised there. No surprise that Cloud9 obviously made it back to back, but I guess Enemy was really the big shocker. The fact that they did make it and they beat TSM, who also, as a lot of you know, follow on Twitter, Ionic and Bickham and all them have also tweeted out there they're going to be leaving TSM. So I mean, there's a lot of crazy free agents on the market right now. So these like quote dream teams. Omega stating that he's got one, and a lot of these other guys are going to be worked out.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if I'm being completely honest here, if they would have had Divios, it'd have been a different game. Honestly, it would have been 100% a different game. Divios was the carry. Divios was, to be honest, their best player. Like.
Oh no, Divios! Like I've personally have played, and I've talked about it before with Divios before. He is an amazing player. Yeah. He's an amazing guy. He does everything right, and I felt like Bickham plays well. I'm not nothing to say against Bickham. All these players, I just felt like there's it's like that Omega swag. It's like you just got that it, man. You're just like, yo, I don't care, man. Like, I'm coming after you. I'm Bologna 4-man diving you under tower while my team gets Fire Giant because that's what I do and I'm Divios. Like, that was, like, the thing that was missing from TSM, it seemed like. Even though they might have not have been agreeing with each other, apparently that's why the breakup obviously happened with Divios. Divios is like a guy that wants to win, and in competitive nature, you played sports, right, Arrcok? I mean,
of course.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in that competitive nature, I mean, like, Kobe Bryant yelling at his teammates on the court, LeBron, Michael Jordan, any baseball, basketball, football player, they all get the competitive spirit. And, like, in esports, it's just even more, man. Like, you love the game for the reason why. You love playing games, and you want to win at it. And it's just a factor of, like, sometimes passion can just be a little bit too loud.
I think it's that, I fully agree there. I think passion is definitely his strong suit, and I think it's more along the lines of some teammates just don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? They just, even if they, some teammates prefer the route of, I'd rather, not win and get along with all my teammates instead of, dealing with us fighting or being upset or angry or anything like that. Now, I mean, me personally as a competitive person, I mean, you can say whatever you want to me as long as I'm taking the W. Like,
yeah, I'm all about whatever it takes to win. I'm the same way. I mean, if it requires me to go 1-20 in a game and like have the worst KDA and have 5 GPM per whatever, it's like if it gets my team a win because I'm the sacrificial lamb, you know what? I'm jumping into the fire. Let's go.
No, but I also understand the TSM's point of view. I don't think regular people don't realize how much time these people spend together.
Like what are they calling us, non-regular people, Arrcok?
Yes. I mean, it's to be honest, like the average viewer at home just says, oh, they got rid of Divios or whatever because they didn't like the way he spoke to them or he was BM or whatever you want to say about it. But like the average Smite viewer at home doesn't realize like you literally spend like every waking moment with this team just about practicing, scrimming, talking to the coaches, going to events, setting up for things, developing strategies. You spend so much time with these people, and on top of that, most teams are basically friends. So when they're on their personal streams, they're playing together as well. So they spend so much time. If he really was, and nobody can say whether he was BM or not because none of us were there, but like if he really was, I don't think me personally I would want that either. On a team where I'm spending 24/7 with someone.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a little bit of a pain right there. I am going to offer it up to chat, though, if chat has any questions, comments, concerns, if they want to, like, shout out something, whatever the case is, while we're waiting on this next game. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the Discord. I'm keeping an eye on the tournament link and everything like that in the brackets. We're almost done with some of these round 2 games. We happened to pick the shortest one out of the bunch, and, we didn't want to jump into another game. Would have been a little awkward, especially now that we've waited this long. We probably could have done it earlier, so apologies for not actually bringing you another game to watch as early as we could have. But, we're doing the best we can with what we got. So, Just B says if they kick out 5 players, do they still keep the spot? Obviously, I know Payne kicked 4 players because he was the team captain and had the ability to do that and kept the spot. I believe if they kick 5, I mean, it's still held by the sponsor, I believe. If the sponsor wants to change the team, I believe they can still do that.
Correct. Yeah, the sponsor holds the team name and basically the player spots. So whatever the sponsor decides now, if all 5 of those people get kicked off and they want to go make their own team, they can do that as well. We saw that happen with Xbox things this year.
Yeah,
so.
that was a little bit of an incident with the Xbox Smite right there that happened. The sponsor was like, "Hey, we're going to drop all 5 players," and after they had like qualified and they were going to go ahead and try to like put a new roster together of PC pros, which was a little awkward.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but again, that just shows you, unless if you're sponsored, the sponsor holds the chips.
Esports are brutal. Like, you got to make sure that when you sign up, anybody that's looking, obviously, Detonate is an organization that has Smash players, and we're homegrown. We're good people. Like, you want to make sure that any sponsor you go with in general has the same values you do, because at the end, like the Xbox scene, if they have a sponsor, they can just take it away from you and dip all 5 players and be like, "Hey, you're out." So.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make if you're looking to be a pro player in anything, I don't care how much money, like I'm gonna just throw a random team out, because like if CLG offered me a spot to play on for their CS:GO team and I don't disagree and like I don't agree with their principles or how they treat my teammates or other players or how their company does business, I'm not gonna sign with them. That goes for anybody out there. You shouldn't sign just for the money. I'll never sign just for the money, because it always ends up coming back to bite you.
Well, speaking of the money, we ain't got no money on the line of this tournament, but we do have gems, and I was just told we got a round 3 game ready to go. Risky Behavior versus Stinger Gaming. We're going to spectate on Famous Hate, guys. Give us a couple minutes until the spectate client queues them in. We'll be right back with picks and bans as soon as we can, guys.